It's 5:30 here on the Truman State Campus, and welcome to TMN Television on Thursday, April 14th. I'm Mary Tomlinson.
And I'm Laura Seaman. Tonight we'll look at the recent reported sexual assaults DPS has notified students about.
Plus, stay tuned to see which college dance team won second place at a dance festival this month.
And don't forget to catch up on Truman Sports with Sarah Hicks on the Dog Pound.
These stories and more tonight on TMN Television. You don't want to miss this.
Early this morning, Truman's Department of Public Safety sent out a campus-wide email informing students of a report of a sexual assault occurring on campus. The alleged incident occurred in the Student Union building yesterday evening, and neither the victim nor the perpetrator were Truman students. This is the second reported sexual assault this week that DPS has informed students about. The first reportedly occurred at a Truman fraternity house early Sunday morning. In the emails from DPS Director Sarah Holzmeyer encourages students to trust their instincts and call for assistance if they feel uneasy. Holzmeyer also says in the emails to remember that consent is a clear and freely given yes, not the absence of a no. The Truman Media Network will provide more updates on these cases as they become available.
The Truman State Board of Governors announced that Sue Thomas will serve as Truman's interim president. Thomas currently serves as Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost. Thomas says she will work with current University President Troy Pano to make the transition as seamless as possible, and she says that she's excited to work closely with Truman students. Dean of Libraries and Museums, Richard Coughlin, will step into Thomas's current position when she becomes interim president. For more about this story, go to tmn.truman.edu.
Adair County hosted the annual State of the County Address in Kirksville on Wednesday as part of its Government in Focus series. A representative from each county department reported some of the department's successes last year, as well as its goals for 2016. The Sheriff's Office Operations Chief Bill King says the county signed a contract with Lynn County to bring Lynn County inmates to the Adair County Jail. Second District Commissioner Mark Thompson says his department's repaired roads and bridges damaged by rainfall and erosion. He says they also announced 2 new bridges in the county, one of which was fully funded by an off-system bridge replacement and rehabilitation fund. SB 40 Developmental Disability Board Executive Director Deb Wohlers announced a groundbreaking ceremony for the Inclusion Playground April 18th. Public Water Sanitation District's Vice President Dwight Hart says the department is expecting a plan for 3 water extensions. Librarian Director Jamie Livingston says the library expects to receive a grant for large print books and new audiobooks.
Students might have noticed a patch of grass behind the Health Science Building that has been constantly emitting steam is currently roped off from the public physical plant. Assistant Director Tom Baker says it was caused by a leaking condensate return line that goes into a receiving tank in the Health Science Building. Baker says it is an old line that has had many leaks and has been repaired several times already. Baker says the vapor coming from the ground is steam from water in the pipe, and it is not harmful or toxic. The line is set to be replaced this summer and will continue to be replaced annually.
After the break, we'll take a look at the newest member on campus.
But before that, let's take a look at this week's forecast.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
The University Swingers took second place at the Heartland Swing Dance Festival's team competition April 2nd. This student-led organization created its own choreography with a mix of Lindy Hop and Charleston swing dance styles. University Swingers prepared for several months to participate in this weekend festival. During the day, they attended festival workshops led by professional swing couples to improve their social dancing. At night, the festival hosted dances featuring artists like Miss Jubilee and a swing band from St. Louis. University Swingers choreographer Jeff Duffy says winning second place at the festival made the University Swingers realize that they are a very competitive team.
Feeling of like the judges coming up to us and saying, wow, you guys really performed the heck out of that. That was so impressive. And other people from around the country coming up and saying, wow, University Swingers have something really cool going on in Kirksville, Missouri to put on that kind of a show.
Truman State's theater department currently is running its production of Murder Ballad, a rock musical with an unusual cast. Contributing reporter Corbin Kottman has the story behind the curtain.
Most colleges put on musicals every semester, but not every theater department puts on a full musical with only 4 cast members. The small cast of Truman State's production of Murder Ballad carries the entire show with only a small rock band in the background. Assistant director Ryan Webb says the show's name comes from the fact that the audience will be anticipating a murder from the very opening.
And that the entire premise of Murder Ballad is that someone is going to die in this relationship. We don't necessarily know who is going to die, but that's always going to be in the forefront of the audience's brain.
The show continues this semester's theme of revenge and darker feelings. Taylor Hawkins, who plays one of the lead male love interests of the show, says it is a challenge without having an ensemble to support the cast during musical numbers, but in the end, it is all the more rewarding.
It's really different. I mean, when you have like an ensemble going behind you, you have something to kind of rely on, but like this is really, really kind of soloistic in a sense. And it provides a lot more, I think, theatrical moment within kind of that musical aspect.
Murder Ballad runs until April 16th. Curtain goes up at 8 p.m. and tickets can be purchased at the box office for $5. With Truman Media Network, I'm Corbin Kottman.
Stay tuned for the stories of families and survivors from Adair County's Relay for Life.
We'll be right back.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
With the sweet burn of moonshine on a burger. It's not illegal, but it tastes like it. Introducing the Midnight Moonshine Thick Burger with moonshine glaze on 100% Black Angus beef. Only at Hardee's.
Last weekend, the Adair County Relay for Life drew plenty of walkers to raise funds for cancer research and remember those who have fought the disease. Contributing reporter Nicole Draper has the story.
Saturday's Adair County Relay for Life began at 8 in the morning with the Color 5K, where runners were covered in chalk paint. The runners ended at Kirksville Primary School, covering themselves and each other with what remained of the paint in a celebration of life. A few hours later, many of the participants returned after a shower and change to start the official Relay for Life, a 12-hour-long event where walkers continually circled an impromptu track across Kirksville Primary Gymnasium and cafeteria. In the cafeteria, Janina and Rayburn Snow, 2 business owners in the Northeast Missouri area, sat with their daughter and grandson. Rayburn was diagnosed with prostate cancer 6 years ago when his back started to hurt one night.
Got up the next morning and she said, "How's your back?" And I said, "My back's fine, but I got a pain in my chest." So we went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "We need to have a PSA test done." So they did, and that's when they found my cancer.
As he was in the hospital recovering from his surgery, Janina was diagnosed with tonsil cancer, which had spread to her lymph nodes.
And I had a 7.5-hour surgery to remove all the lymph nodes in my neck and the tonsils, and then went through radiation and chemotherapy. And that was 5 years ago.
During their battles with cancer, the Snell's grandchildren helped prop their spirits up and remain a positive force in their lives.
And the grandkids is one thing that really keeps you going.
Right.
I mean, they show a lot of support for you. They're up there every year helping us and walking with us, and it's a big plus.
Across the gym, a group of women wore T-shirts bearing the phrase, Team Linda, walked in remembrance of family member Linda Tremblay.
We had gone to our cousin who's done relays for a lot of years down in Palmyra, and when we were there, Linda's like, she wanted to come back and do this in Kirksville. Linda passed away in August from her cancer, so she didn't get to make it as a survivor.
The Fullers are also walking for another family member who passed away from cancer last year. One lesson they learned is that sometimes not saying anything can mean the world to a patient.
Neither one of them wanted the smothering, do whatever, hanging on to them. They were both very independent, strong ladies. They were both so strong. Just be there. You don't have to say anything. Just sit with them. Words aren't new. They know how you feel.
This year's Relay for Life raised $37,000, which will go to the American Cancer Society for patient support and research. But the amount of spirits it raised for the survivors, their family, and their friends is indescribable. For the Truman Media Network, I'm Nicole Draper.
One Truman class helped welcome a new resident to the campus community. Contributing reporter Isaac Carmichael has the story.
Truman State's newest resident is a full name Theodore, who was born March 23rd as a part of a class project in the Agricultural Science Department. Students in the equine reproduction practicum learned hands-on how to breed and care for horses. While Theodore's birth wasn't perfectly smooth, the run-down painful and his mom Etta are both in healthy condition. Junior Adam Kubler says the experience of helping birth a baby horse is just one of the ways Truman's agricultural science program is set apart from other schools.
The day-to-day changes was, I think, the best part of it, because we didn't have to go somewhere else for a week and then come back and see, oh wow, she made huge progress. We got to see the little details. I think that was a big help to everyone because you could see the progression.
In addition to helping birth horses, students are also able to go through the process of artificially inseminating mares, which allows them to repeat the process of birthing horses during the next academic year. Equine instructor Emily Costello guides students through the proper procedures and says she thinks the course is helpful to students who wish to pursue a career in horse breeding.
The Equine Pro Practicum class is a hands-on class for the students to learn the techniques involved in breeding and foaling out horses. So they learn to palpate and inseminate mares, they learn to ultrasound, collect stallions, process semen, and then also hopefully get to be involved in the process of foaling out the mares.
Theodore might have a career here at Truman when he matures, including performing at shows around the Midwest as part of the Truman State Equestrian team, but for now, anyone who wants to pay Theodore and his mom a visit can go to the university farm. For the Truman Media Network, I'm Isaac Carmichael.
And now we go to Sarah Hicks for the latest sports update in our segment, The Dog Pound.
Welcome to the Dog Pound, always brought to you by Hardee's. I am Sarah Hicks. Stay tuned for sports updates, including the spring football game that occurred last weekend, the women's golf team participating in the Triton Invitational this week, and the most up-to-date NCAA rankings for your Truman State softball team.
In the fall, the football team finished 5-6 in the conference. During their off-season, the men focused on fundamentals and building muscle to save themselves from injury during the upcoming fall season. Last weekend, the Bulldogs played in their annual spring game. The game gives the team an opportunity to play after 14 practices during February and March. It also gives players a chance to play without their graduated seniors from 2015. The game is not played like a season game, but is used to test plays and special teams in different situations.
The Truman State University softball team was ranked 7th in the first official set of NCAA Division II regional rankings released Wednesday afternoon by the National Selection Committee. The Bulldogs, who are 25-11 overall, are one of the 5 Great Lakes Valley Conference teams listed in the top 7. The NCAA regional rankings are the only official rankings that determine the 64-team NCAA Division II softball tournament field. The top 8 teams from each region are selected for the NCAA Division II national tournament, with the GLVC, GLIAC, and GMAC tournament champions receiving automatic bids into the NCAA Division II national tournament. Truman closes the home portion of its 2016 regular season this Saturday and Sunday when the Bulldogs host Southern Indiana and Bellarmine in a GLVC doubleheader. Sophomore Nicole Barmettler turned in her 4th top 5 finish in 8 events this season during the Missouri-St. Louis Triton Invitational on Sunday. The Bulldogs placed 11th overall. Bartmettler's 76 came in gusty conditions but closed her round with a 5 over par 76 as the second best Division II finisher in the event. Truman shot a .345 on the tournament's only day, putting the Dogs in 11th place, but just 9 strokes back of 6th in the tightly contested field. Thanks for tuning in. I am Sarah Hicks reporting for the Truman Media Network, and this has been the Dog Pound.
That brings us to the end of our program. Be sure to check out our exclusive web content at tmn.truman.edu. For weekend updates and special coverage, look on TMN Television on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And don't forget to check out the latest episode of Rising from Our Roots on YouTube.
And for complete multimedia coverage, be sure to pick up a copy of The Index and tune in to KTRM on 88.7 The Edge. From all of us at TMN Television, thank you for tuning in and have a great rest of the week.